How well do you deal with rejection? Now, I'm not asking what type of rejection it is. I'll let you choose. Maybe your rejection came in the mission field with slammed door after slammed door. I had plenty of that. Maybe your rejection came in your social life in high school or college, asking people on dates and getting the door slammed on your face for those ones. For me, my wife taught me all about accepting rejection when she kept rejecting my marriage proposals month after month after month. Maybe my mission was preparing me for more than I realized. If you're applying for jobs, maybe you've dealt with rejection there. If you're in sales, then I'm sure you've dealt with lots of rejection. Wherever it comes from, how do you respond? Now, Section 75 puts in perspective those whose gospel message has been rejected by people. And again, if Ezra Booth has been spreading lies about the church all around you, and he's poisoned the well so that when you go knock on some cabin door, the people living in it do not want to hear your message. They think they already know it. Well, what are we going to do there? Well, Section 75 has some interesting advice. If you start in verse 19, this is the good news. In whatsoever house ye enter, and they receive you, leave your blessing upon that house. And that is exactly what we all should be doing when we try to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. In fact, I hope this is a blessing by and not just a blessing for. You understand? If people are kind and they're open and they let you come in, I'm sure they'll be blessed for that. But to be blessed by your visit, to be blessed by the gospel you're giving them, that's the best thing we could possibly ask for. What's interesting too is, even if they're not willing to accept all we have to share, can we at least share with them a blessing? I wish I would have done this more on my own mission. When I have a message I'd love to share, no estoy interesado. I don't want to listen. And instead of just turning around and leaving, or say, well, may the Lord bless you, actually, can I ask him to bless you? If you're a person of faith at all, would you be okay if I just prayed with you here on the doorstep to ask God to bless you in your home? Or is there, if you're not uncomfortable with that because you're not sure where I'm coming from religiously, I get it. Is there anything else we can do to just leave you better than we found you? We're heading out to the street again. You want us to take out some trash for you? Is there something we can do? If I can't give you everything I want to give you, can I at least give you something and leave you better than I found you? That's the best case scenario. But notice the worst case scenario. What if they won't accept even that? Verse 20 to 22, in whatsoever house ye enter, and they receive you not, ye shall depart speedily from that house, and shake off the dust of your feet as a testimony against them. Whew, that's strong stuff. Now, we saw earlier in the Doctrine Covenants, this clarified. Please do this in private, not in front of them. Remember Parley P. Pratt and that fiasco with the Shakers when he's doing it right in front of everybody and they are livid about it. So, okay, leave them better than you found them. If they won't let you, at least don't make them angrier than before. But if it's a matter of washing the dust off our feet as a testimony that they can have, I tried to give them all that I could. They didn't want me anywhere near, so you can even have your dirt back. I will wash my hands of it all. But notice what he says. This is where it gets hard for me. And you shall be filled with joy and gladness, and know this, that in the day of judgment you shall be judges of that house, and condemn them. And it shall be more tolerable for the heathen in the day of judgment than for that house. Therefore gird up your loins and be faithful, and ye shall overcome all things, and be lifted up at the last day. Even so, amen. Now, on the one hand, maybe it's good to realize that it's more about us than them in terms of my actions more than their reactions. As long as I'm faithful, if I'll just gird up my loins and be faithful, then I've done what God has asked of me. And if they rejected my message, that doesn't mean God's going to reject me. That's a relief. But does it mean that God's going to reject them? In fact, will I play a part in that divine rejection? Am I Am I passing final judgment on them? And now it's going to be more tolerable for the heathen because this person had their chance, and there I am washing my hands or my feet of them, and I will be the judge of that house and will condemn them. Whew, if I just take this at face value and leave it there, this is a bit hard to swallow. It honestly leaves me wondering, what is God's intention here? Am I supposed to wrestle with this and even ask, do I want that responsibility? I don't want to pass final judgment on them. Are you sure? It looked like you did. I mean, when they slammed the door on you and you turned around with this scowl on your face, it kind of looked like you wanted words like this. It was almost like, oh yeah? I was surprised you resisted the temptation to turn around and say, oh yeah? You're slamming the door on me today. Well, I'll slam the door on you tomorrow. And tomorrow's judgment day, baby. I mean, wow. Okay, calm down, elder. Calm down, sister. Do you really want to do that? Do you really want to condemn them? Or am I testing you to see where your heart really is? Because honestly, I have a feeling that rather than judging them harshly, I'll be asking the Lord to judge them mercifully, since that's what He's done with me. In fact, I hope God will judge me mercifully in my failed attempts to share the gospel, because maybe they slammed the door on me because I wasn't very persuasive to leave it open. Let me explain what I mean by that. I had a mission buddy. I can't call him a companion because we were never companions, and that still hurts because he's one of my best friends from the mission field. Elder Mortensen, if you're still out there, love you, brother. We used to go on trade-offs a lot, okay? We hated each other at the beginning of the mission on trade-offs. We came to love each other later, and I'm so grateful for that. Never got to be companions, but our exchanges were life-changing for me, at least. And I remember often on our exchanges, we would talk about what it means to give people a true opportunity to exercise their agency and accept or reject the gospel of Jesus Christ. I don't know if we even knew this verse, but this is the verse we would have been discussing. Because when a door is slammed, is that it? Was that their chance? Do we take Amulek at face value and say, well, the same spirit that possesses them in this life is going to possess them in the life to come. They were jerks today, they'll be jerks tomorrow. They slammed the door here, they'll slam the door in the spirit world. Well, what if they didn't even know what they were slamming the door on? What if they opened the door and saw us there and thought we were some other faith? Or the FBI, or traveling salesman. I don't know. What if it was just a bad day for them and they didn't realize what they were saying no to? Oh, but I taught them a discussion and they still rejected it. Well, how well did you teach them? I've honestly wondered, if I die and go to the spirit world and think that I'm going to be getting the fast pass and passing a bunch of people in line like, oh, okay, here, I made it, I'm home. If I pass any Puerto Ricans in line and there's a note or a moment of recognition, instead of me saying, oh, you're the ones that rejected me. Yeah, well, stinks to be you. I wonder instead if we'll talk. Maybe I'll get a second chance to teach them there in the spirit world. And I wonder if they'll ask me, is this what you tried to teach me back in the mid-1990s when we were all alive on the island? Well, yeah, this is what I taught you. Not as well as you're teaching it now. Man, your Spanish was horrible. Maybe your resurrected tongue is exactly what you needed, elder. Or maybe you weren't getting along with your companion that day and you didn't have the Spirit testifying between the two of you the way God intended. There's a million possible reasons why someone might reject our message. And they're not all their fault. Some might be ours. I just hope that we can be careful and not too gleefully look forward to a moment of condemning others when it might be us that we feel like condemning for our failure. Honestly, I'm just grateful that the Lord is willing to take all of these responsibilities off our hands, and that He can be judge and jury and advocate and everything. as we simply try our very best to share the gospel by the Spirit of God, in hopes that people will respond to that Spirit and accept it with full purpose of heart. Judgment is not mine to pass, certainly not the condemning kind. I'd rather extend my love and my faith and my testimony, and then let people choose for themselves.